Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Katie and today we are going to talk about something a little more serious, and it is Game of Thrones Season 5 Episode 6. I just want to put a trigger warning on this video for rape and sexual assault discussion. I'm not going to get into graphic detail, but it will be mentioned and it will be discussed based on what happened in this past episode of Game of Thrones. And my second disclaimer is that I will be discussing the Song of Ice and Fire series and the changes between the show and the books, which is completely pretty much every single storyline right now. So if you have not read A Song of Ice and Fire and you don't want to be spoiled, do not watch this video. So I kind of wanted to make this video to talk about, as a fan of Game of Thrones the show, as well as the Song of Ice and Fire series written by George R.R. Martin, I wanted to talk about some of the changes that are happening in Season 5 going on right now and why a lot of fans are upset with what's going on, and personally, this is me personally why I am upset with what just happened and what's going on, mostly with Sansa Stark. I know there are a lot of other changes that are happening from the books to the show right now, but this video is going to focus a lot on Sansa Stark. This past episode, Season 5, Episode 6 of Game of Thrones, titled Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken, just ended in a very uncomfortable way. If you guys remember, Sansa is getting married to the bastard of Bolton, Ramsay Bolton, and they have their wedding, and on their wedding night, Ramsay is raping Sansa, and we zoom in on Theon Greyjoy, or Reek's, face, and he is told to watch, and we just see all of the cruelty that's happening with Ramsay Bolton and Sansa Stark. And this really bothered me. I felt very disgusted by what was going on, and I honestly 100% felt like I felt nauseous at the end of that episode. And before you guys say anything, I do realize that this storyline is in the books. In the books, A Song of Ice and Fire, it is Jane Poole, who was Sansa's handmaiden or one of her friends in Winterfell, that is with the Boltons. The Boltons believe that Jane is Arya, and Jane is going through all of this horrific, torture by Ramsay and awfulness. Sansa is fine. She is, no one knows who she is as of right now. She is Elaine Stone, and she's in the Vale, and she's learning kind of how to rule. She's doing okay. Sansa being given to the Boltons doesn't make any sense at all, and I've been kind of upset with this storyline since the beginning, and I wanted to say that I'm okay with changes. Game of Thrones, since sort of the end of Season 3, Season 4, they've been making changes from the books very periodically, very steadily. And I am okay with changes. I realize that in book-to-movie adaptations and book-to-TV show adaptations, it's necessary. They're necessary evils. You're never gonna get the exact same thing when you're doing it. It's not possible. I like to think of myself as a person that is okay with changes as long as they make sense. And the reason why I am so upset about this is because this whole storyline for Sansa doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't understand. Peter would never do that. He would never reveal her. He would never take her to the Boltons, and it just doesn't make any sense. And the fact that this is happening to Sansa is really, it just breaks my heart because it's not happening in the books. There's absolutely no reason why Sansa has to be pushed into, another abusive relationship, and that serves absolutely no purpose other than to maybe form some sort of hero redemption storyline for Theon, which what is the end game here? I don't know why Littlefinger would have done that. And it makes me so upset because they are utilizing this it's very much a secondary plot to bring this forward and make this rape and torture and awfulness of Ramsay Bolton come to the forefront. And the thing that also upsets me about this is that this is a secondary plot, as I just mentioned, and they have the writers and the directors and whoever makes the decision, they have set aside other major plots that are amazing for female characters, and I'm talking Lady Stoneheart, I'm talking Ariane Martell, which I'll get to in a second. They have set aside some of the more major, amazing plots for females that have nothing to do with sexual violence or sexual abuse or anything like that. They have set that aside to bring this storyline to the forefront. There are a lot of powerful female arcs in this series that they could have chosen from that have nothing to do with sexual abuse or being sexually abused in order to become more powerful. And my main example here is going to be Ariane Martell, which they chose to cut completely from the show. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to spoil you for anything that happens in the show because she's not going to be in the show. So Ariane Martell is this kick-ass female character, and she is the heir to Dorne. She's the oldest son, she's the heir to Dorne. And that's because Dorne doesn't follow traditional succession laws, so it's not just the boys that are in line for succession, but females also have claim to the throne. So Ariane Martell has this entire storyline where she believes that Marcilla, who is in Dorne at the moment, has a rightful claim to the Iron Throne because they don't believe in the sexist succession laws as the rest of Westeros. I don't know why they decided to cut this out. They decided to make Marcilla just another love interest for Quentin or Tristan or whoever they named the heir of Dorne. They cut all of these other powerful female storylines to put this secondary story up front and in our faces. And I just don't understand why they had to do it. It can't be to show don't tell me that it's to show how cruel Ramsay is, because we had a full season of him torturing Theon. So we all fucking know how cruel Ramsay Bolton is. So don't give me that excuse. And also, it's a really lame excuse if they're using Sansa, an underage female character, to provoke Theon into coming out of his reek state. That is just horrifying and disgusting. And also they're using it, they're kind of sending out the message that they're using this to kind of push her into becoming more aggressive about things and to become more aggressive and maybe even more defensive. And it just bothers me. It bothers me a lot because Sansa's not like that. Sansa, throughout the books, maintains her kindness despite all the shit that she's been through. And I just don't understand why this had to happen. It was far too long of a scene. It was horrifying. Rape is not entertainment. Rape is not entertainment. Rape is not entertainment. Rape is not entertainment, and I think this really, really needs to stop. And I know they're trying to shock people, but I believe that telling a continuous story is more important than shock value. And I really am upset with what is happening with Sansa right now. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm going to link some really good discussion posts down below about reasons why this season and this particular episode was horrendous, and why they need to really start thinking about going in a different direction with Game of Thrones and stop the sexual violence against women. So thank you guys for watching. I know that this is a tough subject, but I really felt like I needed to get my opinion out there. Let me know what you guys think about this past episode of Game of Thrones, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye. And Sansa as a character, she is very internal. She thinks very internally. She doesn't show a lot of emotions from the get-go, and that is why I think she's been so hard to translate from the books to the screen since season 1, and I believe that's why a lot of people that only watch the shows are not huge fans of Sansa. She's this whole it just doesn't make any sense to me.